Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for giving me some grace while I took last week off of videos in order to take care of a lot of different work and home priorities. But I'm back this week, hopefully for good without any other interruptions. What I wanted to talk about this morning is actually just my to-do list to catch up on everything that I missed last week because I was not able to be out in the garden other than watering and harvesting. So I have quite a bit to do this week in order to catch up. So this video is more for my own accountability to get me back on track. But if you guys are in the North Texas, Collin County area, some of this stuff might be helpful for you in terms of like garden cleanup and stuff. So let me just walk over here. I'm gonna kind of walk around the garden as I talk about the things that need to be done. So this green stalk right here that has cowpeas in it, as you can see, they're really starting to fizzle out and not do well. So I need to pull all those out. Once they're out, I need to add a little bit of fertilizer and stuff, get the soil kind of boosted a bit, and then I need to transplant all my bok choy into it. I have several plants, I'm looking at them over there, I have several plants that need to be transplanted into here so that they can continue to grow and give me some food. The other thing that I need to transplant is actually my snapdragons, and those are going to go into my flower bed once I'm able to get over to it. My flower bed here, the wild and crazy space. All of that wildness is going to be tamed a little bit this week too. That's also on my to-do list. But snapdragons need to be transplanted into here. That way whenever spring rolls around, they get an excellent start. Another thing that needs to be done in this flower bed is I actually need to cut down the eggplant on a stick. I know, so sad, but as you can see, they're laying completely down at this point. They're out into the yard and they're not upright like they were. I think they're just too weighed down with all of the eggplants, as you can see there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them down, harvest sorry, these are pumpkin on a stick, not eggplant on a stick. They are an eggplant, but they're pumpkin on a stick. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest what I can that is ripe, create some fun fall arrangements. But other than that, these plants are going away. The other thing that needs to happen within this flower bed is a lot of my zinnias. That's a zinnia right there. They are covered in powdery mildew. So I just need to go ahead and cut those down and get rid of them. At this point, they're no longer healthy. Even though they are blooming, they're just overrun with the powdery mildew. Now, my smaller, that I can't remember the name of right now, my smaller zinnias, the kind of carpet-like ones, those do not have powdery mildew. They are resistant to that. So those can stay, but the taller Benary's giant ones, all of those have to come down. So that will help kind of clean up this flower bed a bit, getting rid of the pumpkin on a stick and those powdery mildewed zinnias. And that will also create some room for those snapdragons to come in. The next thing that I need to do on my list this week is actually harvest the peppers out of this green stalk. There are hundreds, literally hundreds of peppers growing on all the plants. I mean, they're just loaded down. So the jalapenos I'm going to pickle. I harvested some ripe stuff yesterday that I'm going to dehydrate and grind up and used as crushed red pepper and, you know, cayenne powder and such. And then there's some Tabascos on this backside here that as they ripen up, I'm collecting them and I'm going to make some hot sauce with. Now, granted, if I have some serranos and jalapenos and cayennes and other peppers, so I'm just looking down the green stalk to see what I might have growing. I will throw that in the pot with the Tabascos and just make a pepper blend hot sauce because I just have, let's see if you guys can see, I just have so many peppers that I just need to get them harvested and taken care of because we're nearing the end of October. The first frost estimated date is November 15th. It could come earlier, it could come later, but I don't want to lose any of the peppers that I have growing there. And I have a ton that are like a good mature size. So I think clearing off these pepper plants and going ahead and processing them for various needs will be a great way to use them and make sure they don't go to waste. Then I'm reviewing my list. Okay, so then the next thing that I need to do is back over here. These quad grow bags in front of my greenhouse. This is where my garlic patch is going to go. It did have all my sunflowers, but those are all spent, they're done for. This will be a great place for the garlic. So I need to top off all of these quads with some compost and then get my garlic planted, and then get that covered up with more fresh straw mulch. I'm going to film that whole process for you guys, the amending, the planting, all of those things. That way you can see how garlic is planted, but it's time to get it planted. I need to get on the ball for that. And then one of the other kind of hardcore tasks that I have is going to be over here in the tomato patch where the eggplants are. So if you can see behind me, I cannot access the aisle because the eggplants have gone absolutely bananas. So I need to get those staked a little bit better, give them some more support because they're going everywhere. I have probably 20 eggplants growing out here that I don't want the plants to break and then not be able to harvest those. So I need to get some more stakes in, get some more support for them, and then hopefully I'll be able to access this aisle again and be able to do the things in the garden that I need to do. And then the last thing, I think, second to last thing. Okay, let me go set you guys down because the rest of this isn't really like individual plant specific. Okay, so the last two things that I need to do, I need to go ahead and fertilize the plants within the garden that I'm trying to get to hang out until the first frost. So those eggplants, the tomatoes, all my fall and winter vegetables, whatever I decide I want to stay around, I need to go ahead and apply liquid fertilizer too. I just ordered Neptune's Harvest. This one is a pretty balanced fertilizer in terms of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. So I'm going to apply that wherever I need to apply it within the garden. And then the last task that I need to get done this week is there are some spring flower seeds that I want to purchase. That will be for this flower bed, this in-ground one, and then the flower bed that's in the front of my house that I haven't shown a whole lot because I'm still trying to figure out how to get that area to grow because it's super weird. That is a lot to do this week. Hopefully things have settled down a little bit so I'll be able to knock a lot of that out. But I wanted to get that list out there, hold myself accountable for things, let you guys know what's happening within the garden this week. And other than that, it's just the continuing the water and the harvest. The okra is still pretty dang productive. I have some bell peppers that need to be harvested. I have a few cow peas that need to be harvested. Those settled, those slowed way down. We had some mornings last week in the 40s, so I think the cow peas are just gonna start fizzling out at this point. It's perfectly okay. I have exactly what I wanted to be able to harvest this year. I met my goal, so I'm good. But that's what a week. Okay, but thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope to see you guys later on this week as I work on getting that garlic planted, and then of course on Friday my weekly update will be up where hopefully all those maintenance tasks have been taken care of and the garden is a much neater, tidier space to be in. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye!